everyone. My name is Madeline Friend, and I'm a Vice President of Customer Success here at Centrical. With me today are customers from Arise Virtual Solutions who won the Scholar Award at this year's annual Customer Select Awards. This award celebrates an organization that has implemented a hyper-engaging learning solution and fostered a culture of continuous development. Their commitment to upskilling significantly impacts speed to proficiency and equips employees, or in the case of Arise, contracted gig workers, to be agile and successful as they grow in their roles. Today, we're going to talk about what's so special about Arise's program and why they earned this award. Before we get started, can you share a little bit about your company, your role in the area of the business that has implemented Centrical? Sonia, why don't we start with you?
Thanks, Madeline. Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia Brant Mullins. I am Vice President of Service Partner Experience here at Arise. And for those of you who don't know who we are, Arise is offers a platform, a technology platform for gig workers to actually come and service on our platform for many clients, offering a variation of many different services. I'm responsible for learning design and delivery here at Arise. Chris?
Thank you, Sonia. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chris Carver. I'm the Director of Instructional Design here at Arise. I've had the pleasure of working for Arise for about 2 years now. Part of my day-to-day responsibilities is overseeing the operations of Centrical for the implementation during certification and for continuing education for the agents.
Okay, thank you, Chris. That sounds great. Let's get started. So, Sonia, what brought Arise to Centrical? What was the pain point or problem you were looking to solve?
Well, here at Arise, we have many different clients that have different expectations and different requirements to be successful. We were looking for a learning platform that can give us more of that agility, the engagement with the service partners, the gamification that comes within the environment, the learning environment, as well as just more advanced tools than what we have today. And we found that Centrical had that and more than what we expected to get in the entire learning journey.
Got it. And when you first started, and even to this day, a big focus is on what you call certification and what other organizations might call onboarding. So you take these new gig workers and have to get them up to speed on your different customers' needs. How has that worked? How have you approached that using Centrical?
Well, it's at Arise, we're different. We consider ourselves disruptors in the industry. We operate on a part-time model, and that offers our service partners flexibility. And because we have the part-time model, our certification, or what others might call training, is also part-time. But the expectation is that even though it's a part-time certification model, the expectation is that they still get to the level of proficiency at the same time as a full-time model. And so those are the kind of things that we operate in on a daily basis, where Centrical helps us achieve that.
Got it. That's helpful. And that's a really good background of what makes Arise so special. So let's dig a little deeper into how you solved for this challenge. As a winner of the Scholar, describe in a few words the strategy or initiative you undertook using Centrical to tackle this challenge. What were the objectives and what was unique about the approach that you took?
I think the objective was, just as I mentioned, achieving speed to proficiency at the same level as you would in a full-time model, but also have an environment where it was actually engaging, encouraging, and using some of the AI tools to help us do that. And so one of the things that we notice is that in a part-time model, folks are going to be in a certification experience a little longer than they would in the full-time model. And so how do you keep building on the learning journey from one day to the next? And how do you ensure that, they're engaged? How do you ensure that, we're getting the most recent tools, especially when it comes to learning, and you're doing it all remotely. So our learning is completely remote. So all of those things being thrown into the boiler, as I said, part-time, fully remote. Expectation is that you hit speed to proficiency at the same time as a full-time model. And so one of the things that we noticed is that there were some concerns at the end of certification where we weren't quite hitting the mark, right? We were taking them through the journey, but we weren't quite hitting the mark. And so, doing some analysis, we determined that we needed to change some things in the learning environment. We needed to do more micro learning so that we can give them bite-sized learning objectives. We needed to create a more supportive environment where they can actually get content based on their performance, and that they can be more self-serve, more self-reliant, and in the end, really be able to tap into their own performance. And so instead of, trying to figure out, okay, if the performance objective is handle time, where do I need to go? How do I use my course library? How do I use my tools, but ultimately get better from a performance perspective? And so when we took a look at the things that we weren't currently using in the Centrical, we said, hey, check the box on all these areas. If we start using the tool the way it was designed to, we would be able to offer all of those things from the very beginning of the journey all the way through the end of the learning journey, which we believe never really ends. And so that's what we were able to do, to give that more supportive journey, to use AI, to use course library, to give micro learnings, to push content based on where someone was currently achieving and how we wanted them to get to the next level.
Fantastic. That's great. Chris, is there anything that you want to add to that in terms of the specific implementation ideas?
Thank you so much. So one of the big reasons, of course, that we chose Centrical was for the gamification pieces. As Sonia talked about, we are a virtual model. All of our certification is done virtually. So keeping the learners engaged is very, very important. And the tools within Centrical of having to be able to build specific missions and to build games and to build the gamification and the avatars and all those pieces are very important to help keeping the learner engaged as they're going through their certification process. And as Sonia also talked about, the micro learnings, we built in all of our KPI data, and the agents are assigned a boost based upon their performance, and that is a micro learning. And we're able to use the AI tools within Centrical to help us to build those specific micro learning tools and help the agent to learn. And then also, as Sonia talked about, the course catalog is always available for the agent to go in at any time and to review any materials that they may have discussed or reviewed during certification that maybe they want to go back and refresh themselves on. So all of those tools that are within Centrical have been very big game changers for us in our certification performance. But we talked a lot about certification, but as I've always said since I came on board here, is the learning never stops. Just because certification is over and we turn them over to production, that learning never stops. We have a responsibility to be consistently teaching, reinforcing, and helping the agents to continue to grow and to develop.
Okay, great. That's really helpful. So it sounds like you have an amazing solution, but of course everyone wants to know, what does success look like? How did you measure this, and what kind of success did you achieve using Centrical? Sonia, do you want to start?
Yes, absolutely. Well, success looks like being able to beat your own games. So we actually, we measure our efficiencies. We measure quality. We measure every important data point that's important to our clients. And we want to be the best, and we are the best. And so the one of the things that was most important for us is not just making sure that the the agent participates in the learning journey and feels fully supported. But in the end of the day, how did that translate into metrics? And in our world, it translated to better speed to proficiency. With the launch of Centrical and using most, not all of the tools yet, we're not quite there, we've been able to reduce speed to proficiency by almost half. So that means where it was taking, 3 months to get someone to a particular level, we've now did that in half the time. Where we were seeing folks, in what we call our blended environment, which is the environment in between, I've gone to class, I'm now, in production somewhat, we measure their metric attainment. And we've been able to kind of slice that in half. So folks are not only participating more, but they feel more supported, and that is translating into better metrics. Better metrics means that our clients and their customers are getting what they expected to receive, and even more so. And so there is no delineation between what they would see from an in-house, call, or what they would see from another typical BPO. They're actually seeing better. So from our value proposition, not only do we offer flexibility for our clients and for our service partners, now we can also say we're offering better performance as well.
That's really remarkable, because as part-time workers, their attention's divided. So it's harder to train them, to get them up to speed on something. Typically takes a little bit longer. But the fact that you've been able to shave that in half with strong retention really says a lot about the program that you put in place using Centrical. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Chris, it looks like you've got something to add.
I do want to thank you, Madeline. I just want to talk a little bit about Centrical's tool, performance-driven learning, for a moment, and how important that is for the part-time service partners. We don't have a lot of time with the service partners, and as you would in a traditional BPO. They have the opportunity to log into Centrical and to see their performance at any time, how they are rating in their KPIs for the particular program that they may be servicing. And if there's areas of opportunity, again, we have the ability to assign to them a micro learning that is geared specifically to their learning needs based upon their performance that we are seeing with their KPIs.
Fantastic. Thank you. So looking ahead, what additional goals and objectives are you looking to achieve using Centrical? Are there any new directions you're excited about?
We're going to take over the world, Madeline.
I know you are, Sonia. I know you are. But using Centrical, how do you see that happening with world domination?
In our world domination means that we provide continue to provide the support that takes the learning journey all the way through the production world of ours, so that it is continuous flow. And so we've embarked on a little bit of that to Chris's earlier point, but the goal is, in the next 6 months, that we have a complete takeover from the time that you decide to join our platform to the time that you're actually servicing for our clients, that you have a complete learning journey. And so that it's all tied together, and no matter which client you're serving, it all feels and looks the same. And so what we like to call it is ELE, that Chris mentioned, which is elevated learning experience. And so in the elevated learning experience, you're going to get this complete experience tailored to you and your needs throughout the journey every single day. That is our world domination. And again, supporting the service partners and what they do on our platform and helping them achieve their metrics translates into better performance for our clients. So that's taking over the world.
I love it. I love it. And I think the approach that you took, which is really nailing down certification or onboarding, extending that into what you call the blended period, what others might call nesting, and now extending it into the lifetime of production to making sure that they continually learn and, more importantly, improve upon their metrics. People will feel more in control of their own success, and we'll get excited about that. Excellent. All right. Anything you want to add as a parting shot there, Chris?
Just that the other thing that we are excited to be continuing to grow with Centrical, the every time I turn around, I feel like there's some other area that we haven't dipped our toes into, so to speak. One of those is going to be community groups. You talk about being on in a virtual environment. We don't want the agent to or service partners to feel like they're on an island. So building those community groups and having those opportunities to have a area to share best practices, to share questions about the curriculum or something else, I think is very important for us. And that's going to be one of our next big projects that we're going to tackle, is building those community hubs for each of our programs and for the service partners.
Nice. Very thoughtful approach to bring the community in connection and a way for people to help each other and help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
And I think the other thing that we didn't mention is our 2025 strategy to integrate all of our other external systems into Centrical. So Centrical being that nucleus, so to speak, and talking to our quality system, talking to our system that we use for our metrics, and just really being that nucleus, so that as we are improving and using AI more, that it becomes more real-time support for the learner. So I think integration is going to be key for us to make sure that Centrical sits in the middle, and that all these other points of systems that we use, it brings it all together and creates a seamless experience. So can't wait for 2025.
Neither can we. Centrical is the nucleus for Arise. Here we go. World domination. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Sonia and Chris, and the entire Arise organization for investing your time and energy in Centrical and reaping the rewards. Congratulations to you on winning the Scholar Award. And here's to world domination in 2025.
And can't do it without Team Centrical. So thank you, Centrical.
Right.
Thank you, Madeline, for your leadership throughout this process and for supporting us and helping us kind of figure out how to get to that center of excellence. And like I said, we're going to do it together and take over the world.
That's right. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you both.